You are listening to the Tallest Kaiju Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Tallest Kaiju Podcast. In today's episode, I am joined by Goji Guy. Goji Guy is a prominent voice of kaiju media on YouTube, having amassed over 300,000 subscribers and making videos that span from Godzilla, Predators, FNAF, Ultraman, Dexter, Jurassic World, many things he explores through his content on his channel. Welcome Goji Guy to today's episode, and be sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. Thank you. First things first, what was your introduction to kaiju cinema, and how has that affected your trajectory as an artist?
I was first introduced to kaiju from my dad. He showed me the original 54 film, at least the American version. So what was that, 56, I think. And I first got into it because of this like plastic guitar thing I had, and then it played music, and one of them was Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla. And then he asked me if I knew what it was. I think I was like 5 or 6, and I'm like, no. He showed me it. I was promptly horrified, asked if it was real, and my dad, seeing the opportunity to be a troll, said, oh, yeah, no, that's real. But I've just been into it ever since, you know, like I was into dinosaurs beforehand, but I kind of skipped the whole dinosaur phase that a lot of Godzilla fans go through, because I just got into dinosaurs, and then I saw this. I'm like, oh, this is a taller, fire-spitting dinosaur. I don't want to play with you anymore, you know, like with Woody. Right. And I've just been into kaiju since, and I always wanted to do YouTube, and me and my friends made some YouTube videos for the Godzilla channel, and I remember I made a Godzilla video, and it did slightly better than the others, so like rather than 2 views, at like 4. And I'm like, oh, I'm really blowing up now. And so that just kind of turned into me watching a lot of Godzilla channels, obsessing over them, such as Monster Island Buddies, Jobby the Hong, Luminous. And I've just been into Godzilla since. And I'm like, I have figures. I want to make videos on this. And I just started making videos from there. And I was just always into YouTube as a whole. And, it's like, if I can make this a job, talking about Godzilla and doing YouTube videos, like 2 things I've wanted to do since I was a very, very little kid. I was like, absolutely, yeah, full speed ahead on that. No looking back.
Yeah, and I love that, just the idea of like a dad showing his kid like the original Godzilla, like not even one of the
not
like,
of all
more right, and like not one of the silly ones like All Monsters Attack or anything. It's just like, okay, here's the original, the
yep.
dark, the darker one.
I remember watching, and I'm like, I didn't really understand what was going on, and I remember asking my dad, I'm like, what does she mean they're gonna see their dad soon? Is he gonna come grab them, pick them up? And he's like,
right,
something like that. But yeah, but I mean, I'm glad he showed me that one originally, because that got me into it. I think that's probably also why I like Godzilla 2014 so much, because like I like the much more serious tone. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Godzilla's not in until the very end, but I like the slow burn. Michael Dougherty, the director of King of the Monsters, said the same thing. He loves G14, and so you can have a good mix between action and serious notes for sure.
Yeah, and I really think that Gareth Edwards did a really great job with the suspense around it. He really built tension in an incredible way. And I would have personally liked to see a little bit more of the release of that tension, but I think that it serviced a very, very well done Godzilla film. Especially, in comparison to, 1998 and I guess, 1998's the closest American attempt at Godzilla. And I think on that token, it really succeeds. But I think that, Gareth Edwards in general is just a really good kaiju filmmaker in the sense 100%. That, Rogue One, it's like the Death Star's kind of like the
Rogue
kaiju.
One. I love Rogue One. It's my favorite Star Wars film.
Really?
I always say that. Everyone's like, what about Revenge of the Fifth? I'm like, yeah. Lightsabers, blah, blah, blah. But Rogue One's phenomenal.
Love that. And I love, like, I always look at that movie like the Death Star is like the kaiju of it, because every time it comes to screen and it's gearing up to attack or whatever, the tension in the room feels like a giant monster movie to me.
Oh
at
yeah,
least.
100%.
And then he does that again in The Creator when what's it called, Nomad. Did you see The Creator?
I have not. I plan to soon though, for sure.
Oh, it's special effects wise, it's pretty incredible at the budget it had, but Nomad is like this giant space station thing that has like this giant laser or whatever, but every time it comes on screen, it has that same idea, that that same feeling I get in his other movies, where it's like, okay, Nomad is like the kaiju of this movie. And obviously he did Jurassic Park Rebirth, or Jurassic World Rebirth, and there's a big old monster in that one, so
sure is.
Yeah, and it all started no, he did Monsters before Godzilla, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what Legendary saw, and like, oh, you work really well on the budget.
Yeah. So I think he's very successful at just doing a monster flick.
He is very, and also, of course, every one of the movies have a shot of someone in a hallway in red. You got Rogue One with Vader, you have the D-Rex in the Snickers bar, and you have Ford's mom in G14. I have yet to see The Creator, but I imagine there's something of that somewhere in there.
It might. You know what? There's definitely at least a couple hallway sequences, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it and see if I notice any red
I like
lights.
to imagine that's in his like director contract.
Right.
It's like, I get paid, I'm in charge, hallway.
Yeah.
Red lights. Somewhere in there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get off the subject, I'm one of those Godzilla fans, like you mentioned, where it started with me with Jurassic Park. It was like Jurassic Park, you see the T-Rex, you see the big dinosaurs, and then you're like, oh, Godzilla's kind of like this, but better even.
It's just taller and shoots fire.
Yeah. It's like Jurassic Park's like that gateway drug to Godzilla fandom, I think.
Yeah. My dad fully skipped that for me. He just threw me straight to the deep end. It's like, all right, here you go. Here's the darkest film. Enjoy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I think after that was versus Hedorah, which is like arguably just as dark.
Yeah.
And then it was versus Space. That was my third. So I was like, oh, okay, now we're getting fun. So yeah, I was like, but I rocked with it though. I was scared of the oceans, horrified because I thought it was real. But I still loved it. I was like, this is awesome. Just giant fire breathing dinosaur. Heck yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So with our subject of today's conversation, would you want to give a little introduction, a little rundown of what we plan to talk about?
Talking about Legacy of Monsters episode 1 and 2, and by the time you guys are watching this, episode 3 should be out. But yeah, we're just be talking about thoughts, opinions, yada yada yada. And I had the questions pulled up, and then they closed. Let me get those back open.
It's all good.
So, let me grab those and copy, paste. All right. Do you want to start in the first one?
Yeah. So, I recently had heard about this possibility of a spinoff taking place in the Cold War, focusing on Wyatt Russell's character. Have you heard anything about that? I mean, probably.
Yeah, I think I heard it first from, I was at a Kaiju news outlet or Kaiju United. I don't know if there's much info on it currently. I know there's been some talk on like Reddit and Twitter about, I think one of the Russells, I think it's the older one, Wyatt, what's his dad's? Kurt Russell. I think he mentioned something that like kind of like hinted towards a season 3 of Monarch. But I've also heard like apparently like, like people online have talked to how there's apparently some like, it's been rumored there's a big like cliffhanger at the end of season 2. So I mean, that'd be pretty cool if we have season 3 and then a spin-off show as well at the same time. As long as there's Kaiju, I'll be there for it. I don't care regardless. If it's a movie about like Nakika from Dominion, I'll be there. I'll be first in line. So, but yeah, no, regardless, I think it's gonna be really interesting building upon the lore of the past. Cause like, I feel like that's a lot of the Monsterverse has happened in the past, like 10 years of the Monsterverse, like in lore. And I feel like, yeah, there's definitely a whole bunch that can be explored. And explained, and I can't wait for them to find the plot cave painting like every single film and show they have. But I'm excited regardless. I've heard, I've heard about that for a little bit now, and I'm pretty pumped for that. I think besides like Bryan Cranston's character, I think the Russells have like the second best character in the MonsterVerse for sure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, at least for me, I give agents to just the people playing those parts. Kurt Russell has been an absolute favorite of mine for years, and Wyatt Russell has proven that he maintains that talent that his dad has. Not as good, obviously, but there's a reason that he's also it's not just nepotism, right?
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell's got a little bit more going with that, but I would really like to see Monarch take place between King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong, because I don't think we're exploring that with this season.
No, doubt it.
And there's so much more after King of the Monsters, because what did Ghidorah do? Ghidorah fucking woke up all the Titans, right? And that probably had crazy repercussions all around the world, but we only saw like a little smidget of it. So they could, if they wanted to continue a season to this show, I mean, I personally would love to see how they explore that.
Yeah, I feel like it would be best to, of course, have their own story, but please keep Dominion and Kingdom Kong canon, because like I love Legacy of Monsters, but it's like a snowplow to the lore. It's like, oh, that's it up.
Oh yeah,
never heard about that, and then they just do their own thing, which I've been fine with so far. But I mean, I know like a lot of the Dominion things are fan favorites, especially with the Monarch declassified comics as well. Amuluk, fighting Behemoth, Camazotz, like essentially stealing Ghidorah's Storm to like fuse it with Skull Island Storm and then break out. There's so much stuff, and given they're on Skull Island currently, I feel like that would be like, if they would at least have to show Camazotz. Like if they show any from the comics or like either from Dominion or Kingdom Kong, I can understand they don't show Dominion stuff because that's Godzilla's story. It's like told from his point of view, but they have to show Camazotz in season 3 because like that's like, yeah, Monarch's there fighting with Kong. If they don't show Camazotz, it's like, what are we doing? Come on. But yeah, I think that's really the only thing in between the films as of now. I mean, there's like some stuff set in the novels, like very like light stuff. But I mean, other than that, like there's really nothing much between King of the Monsters and GVK.
Yeah, have we had because I'm familiar with the comics, and I really like what especially with Dominion, I like the way that and I think there's a lot of freedom to that platform to really like explore more of these ideas. But have we had any spin-off novels that weren't just novelizations of the movies? Do you know?
Besides Dominion and Kingdom Kong?
Is that a novel?
Well, it's not a novel. They're both comics.
Yeah. I'm saying like a actual novel, like a book that they've released.
I don't believe so. The closest thing we have is like, I mean, it's still a comic. It's a really, really unknown one called Fight or Flight. It's very short, but it is during the attack in Florida in GVK. One of the fighters just didn't shoot. It's from his point of view because to him, he wasn't going to shoot Godzilla because Godzilla saved him in Godzilla 2014. And so I really like that comic because it really like it's one of like the most like chain linking parts in the MonsterVerse, like, which it was kind of a shame to say, but it's like, a lot of the films, like, I mean, they of course exist after each other, but they almost feel like they're in their own different thing. But I like Fight or Flight a lot because it has a kid who was there during the G14 attacks. Godzilla saved him. He joins the army. And then they tell him like, hey, shoot Godzilla with your rockets. He's like, no, he's doing this for a reason. It's like, sure, he's lashing out of nowhere, but he wouldn't just do this to do this. So, but other than that, I mean, that's still a comic. I don't believe, there's no novel. There is the Monarch Files coming out soon, in like a month or two. That's just going to have info on pretty much like all the kaiju, even ones like I don't think we've seen yet. Just like they're going to have like illustrations of them. But yeah, no, other than that, no, there's no just novel in between the films yet.
Yeah.
There's some games. There's that ride coming out in South Korea, but yeah, there's no novel, sadly.
Right. And I didn't know about the Monarch Files. I think that'll be really dope. I like when franchises kind of give that supplemental supplemental lore through
Yeah.
other different formats. But I definitely think that, to what you said about Legacy of Monsters kind of bulldozing some lore, it really does a disservice when you have comics that are exploring things in such a fascinating way, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys could just use this, but maybe it's a budget thing, right? Because there's some
Yeah, it
things
could be.
you could do in a
But that's
comic that you can't, you don't have a budget
yeah,
for
you
it.
have essentially unlimited. Yeah. It's like, I feel that there's also ways they could have easily kept them canon, like in Awakening, where Shinamura is killed off by a nuclear bomb. I think it's in the G14 novelization that they bombed Godzilla many times. It wasn't just once. They bombed him dozens of times. All they had to do was have one line where they say, "What's that up there?" and then have the nuke go off. They don't have to show Shinamura. Just say, "Hey, there's something in the sky." Boom. You keep the entire comic canon. You can mention something about some larger Muto Prime that injured Godzilla. Boom. Keep Aftershock canon. So I just hope they I've seen some people like say like, oh, the directors, they hate the comics. It's like, no, I doubt they hate them. I just think it's likely they just don't really like know them, or like not care. Like they don't care for them in the sense of like, oh, I hate this, but like they don't care enough for them. Like, yeah, let me like rewrite this story to add and to keep this like niche thing here, So, but I just hope they, keep some of the comic stuff. There's nothing outright that says the comics aren't canon anymore, but there's nothing that says they are either. So it's like, it's kind of weird. They're in a weird in between currently.
Yeah, it's just you hope that they don't just turn it all to Legends and then just pick from it, like what Star Wars did.
Yeah.
It because like I don't think it's gone too crazy. I think that in context, what they're bringing to the table in these comics and spinoffs, I think it's I think it's very good to keep around. And like I said, the only understandable piece of it is if budgetary constraints. They're like, oh, we can't put all that shit in our show right now. Right.
The actors and actresses are expensive as is.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you got two Russells, right?
Yeah. And I mean, after the success of season one, the actors and actresses, unless they already signed something beforehand for a second season, they're going to be more expensive to hire as well.
Yep.
It also makes it complicated because the like novelization of King of the Monsters, and I believe GVK as well, both of those mention, I think they both name drop the Muto Prime, and I believe King of the Monsters directly like references Shinamura from Awakening. So it's like not only is it like possibly decanonizing comics, but possibly even the novelizations, which is like
right.
That's really odd. So,
and Muto Prime doesn't Muto Prime show up at the end of King of the Monsters? I'm pretty sure it's one of the.
Not. It was the Queen Muto appeared. Muto Prime was dead at that point.
Oh my god! Okay,
she dies in 2014 or 15, I believe.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, because I always thought that was like Muto Prime, because I'm not as well versed, obviously, especially
that would be
with
Barb.
the comics,
that is the fan name given to the Queen Muto, Barb. I don't know where it came from. I like him more than Doug, but
I love the name Doug.
I like Doug, but in my space of doing versus stuff, for like an entire year, all the comments were like, Doug would one tap. It's like,
my god,
right. It got unfunny like 2 weeks into this. So,
right.
But yeah, her fan name is Barb for whatever reason. I don't know what the context of it is, but Barb is the Queen Muto's name.
Oh, I love that. So yeah, so there's a Muto Prime out there somewhere still. Is that what you're saying? Or
well, I mean, the Muto Prime died in Aftershock,
right.
But I mean, just given Barb is a Queen Muto, it's likely the next level after Queen is Prime. So it goes like female, Queen, Prime. And if you're a male Muto, probably like a praying mantis, you just die after, you have kids. So it's possible that she could turn into Muto Prime. It's possible there are other Mutos out there. I like to imagine behind one of the doors in GVK that Apex bought one of the eggs that may have survived during the what was it? It was in Boston, right? Yeah. No, not Boston. It was San Francisco. I like to imagine there's some Mutos out there still alive. But yeah, so currently I think the only one alive is the Queen canonically. There's something that says she's dead yet.
Yeah, Barb.
I
love that. So Anna Sawai, is that how you pronounce last name?
I have no idea.
She's the actress who plays Kate in Legacy of Monsters. You know, she had previously spoken about her experience with the Japan's earthquake in 2011 and how that trauma influenced how she decided to play the character. And I always thought that was interesting because, you know, one of the biggest influences on Shin Godzilla in 2016 was the government's reaction to the Fukushima disaster, which was a direct result of that earthquake.
Yeah.
So that's something, you know, looking into this that, you know, I think it's fascinating to have that connective tissue between the Monsterverse and Shin Godzilla, you know, based on just what, you know, one of the lead actresses went through in real life.
I actually wasn't aware of that when I was reading through these questions. I had actually never heard of that. I've been trying to watch more interviews recently, but I was not aware. Yeah, I mean, I could see why that would affect how she plays her character, given, you know, I mean, if she was there during that, right, and then it's like, okay, you're like essentially, like, your character has kind of experienced something like to a magnitude of that, right? You're a teacher, and you know all your students, you know, just fell off a bridge, and all that. So yeah, I could imagine that definitely affects how she plays Kate for sure.
Yeah, and you know, I think that I think pulling from that too, I think it does give some authenticity to the performance. She's not like, you know, I don't think she's like Golden Globe worthy in the way that she's performing, but I do think that
I
next
think she
to
did
the
win a
Russells,
Golden Globe, not for Legacy, but
for Shogun. Yeah, she's phenomenal in Shogun. I really love her in that. But
I've been meaning to watch that. That's been on the list for sure.
Yeah, there's another actor. I forgot who the actor is in Legacy of Monsters, but he's also a character in Shogun.
Interesting.
It might be who plays her dad in the show. Don't remember that actor's name, but I believe he plays a character in Shogun.
Okay.
They're not related in Shogun, but just another interesting little tidbit there that, you know, those two. Yeah, so I really like her character though. It might be my biases towards just her as an actress and seeing her in Shogun, but definitely don't have her up there like the Russells, but I would say she's like the next compelling character in this series that I really enjoy following.
Yeah. I think season 2 so far, she's been definitely more enjoyable for me. You know, with all due respect to, you know, season 1, she just wasn't an enjoyable character for me in the first season. It's like, you know, she was mean to her mom. She cheated on her girlfriend, I think soon to be wife, I'm pretty sure, in the show. It's like she was just an asshole to everyone. And but season 2 though, I definitely like how she's like actually, like, you know, like the whole scene of her fighting the what they call it, the little bug thing, they called it something, scarab, that's what they called it. So I like seeing her actually, like, you know, use, I guess, like her, you know, anger to, like, you know, be more productive, I guess, or like not like insulting her like brother or mom anymore. So
Right.
I like seeing her character so far, as of episode 1 and 2, and I'm excited to see what she does in episode 3 as well.
Yeah, and I think there was a scene in episode 2. She was having a conversation with her dad or brother. I'm drawing a blank on it, but that conversation, it sounded like there was a little bit more accountability on her part with just how she's been feeling, and I think accountability is the thing that frustrated me about her in season 1. So if we kind of get to see a little bit more of that from the character side of things, it's like it doesn't make them as much of an unlikable protagonist, right?
Yeah. For me, season 1, the only characters I cared for was the past trio. It got to a point.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode it was, but Kate's in the airport, and then Tim comes up to her and is talking to her. And this is the first time watching it. I just skipped it. I do not care. Shut up. Just give me Kaiju. And I just skipped until like it got to either the past trio or the scene changed. But it was like 5 minutes of them talking. I'm like, I really could not bother.
Yeah.
But so far, also Tim's character, love how he's being played this season. Much more, you know, up in center. He's you know, really taking control. I like how, you know, he's, you know, in command of Outpost 18.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that they learned their lesson from season one with, because I think the issues that you and I seem to have with it, I think that was pretty common, especially in the fan base, and I think that they were receptive to it.
Mm.
Um, it sounds like episode three is a little more on like the human side, so we'll see how that turns out when we see it.
Yeah.
But I do think that they learned their lesson to some capacity.
Yeah.
And one thing which I found super interesting, but I thought honestly it could have been less than this, but Godzilla had only like 4 minutes of screen time in that whole first season. In season two
Yeah.
so far, we have Kong, we've got Titan X, we've got the Scarabs. Like, do you think that we're gonna get more than 4 minutes?
The Psycho Vultures. I was so excited seeing the Psycho Vultures.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was screaming. I was so pumped. Oh my god! They're finally, at least they're bringing some comic stuff. Last time I saw a comic Kaiju was Tiamat, and she immediately died. So,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, seeing a Psycho Vulture just kick ass was so cool.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear that. What role did they play in the comics? I would love to hear about their role in the comics.
I believe it was in. It wasn't Kingdom Kong. It was Skull Island: Birth of Kong. They just kind of bothered Kong. They didn't really do too much. But they just like shot lightning at him. And there's like a alpha male version. It's just a much larger version of the Psycho Vulture, kind of around the size of like, I guess like I don't know if you've seen the anime, but like the size of like his giant hawk. This is a much larger version of the normal Psycho Vulture. And to any viewers listening, a cool little fact that I learned while working on something for the Psycho Vultures. The Psycho Vultures and Leaf Wings are actually related. They're like cousins to each other. So I guess it's got family beef, given, he absolutely sniped the other one with the lightning. So
yeah, I love that. I really need to, you'll have to give me a list of just the comics. Just so I can
Return and Escape to Skull Island. Return just came out. Escape is coming out actively. They are a direct sequel and continuation of the Skull Island anime.
Oh,
watching the anime and then those comics together, I'd say the best thing in the MonsterVerse, just because
really,
it's just so consistent to each other. It's like the anime ends, Return begins. Return ends, Escape begins. It is such a good trilogy of stuff. And Escape is still coming out now. I think issue 2 comes out in like a month, and then like each month after that, the next 2 issues of that come out. But very excited that they introduced Yugoth. He's this big like mushroom kaiju. It's kind of like Amulek. But it's also weird because he just forms, like he like gets his body destroyed and then he just comes back. He's almost like a spirit. It's and then Kong gets his flaming sword. There's so much in it. It's insane. It's a great series so far.
Yeah. I still have to watch that anime because I haven't seen the Skull Island anime, and
I love it.
What time period is the anime?
It takes place now. It's kind of weird because like I think it was canon originally, but now with the comics, it's kind of like it's more dubious. But if you just take the anime, it takes place long after the film, and that takes place in 73. I believe it takes place, I think, in like the like mid 90s. And so it's not teenage Kong. And it's like this Kong is almost as large as his movie counterpart, but he's not quite as tall as that one. But yeah, he's a much older Kong. He's like like early 20s at that point, if you will, in like human years.
Okay, and would you say that the anime explores like other kaijus, or is it like kind of limited?
One of my like hot takes, as my fans say, is just I like the anime more than season 1 of Legacy. Just because I like my favorite fight in Legacy Monsters, and everybody always thinks I'm kidding, but the Mantle Claw versus Mother Longlegs. I always like the big fights, but that's all we ever get. Big world-ending fights. If Godzilla doesn't win this, the world ends. But it's like it's the monster verse. There should be monsters everywhere. And so seeing the little things fight is so awesome to me. And the show, the Skull Island anime, all the characters are like 6 out of 10. There's none that like are remarkable, but they're all like fine to watch. And there's plenty of kaiju stuff. There's a giant hawk, which I love. There's the killer chameleons, one of my favorite things on Skull Island now. The Kraken's cool. Like there's so many cool kaiju things, and like it's not even necessarily a Kong-centered show. Like sure, he's in it plenty, but it's more like literally on the island itself. It is the only thing we have really that's like exploring the island fully. Like they show so many new creatures. I think they show a couple like they just have like their own version of a skull crawler. It's like a cool little like armor design almost. So yeah, I really really enjoyed the Skull Island anime.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that sound I need to get on that, especially if I'm going to be making a freaking kaiju podcast. I think I need to try to watch everything. But that's good to know, especially that there's a comic series that follows it, because I don't think there's going to be another season of the anime, right? Especially with the continuing
I know
movies.
they like said they were going to, but and I haven't heard Netflix say they have like pulled away from that idea. But given the comic series going on now, it's like I don't really know what they would do next. Because I imagine Escape is going to end with them escaping Skull Island. So it's like unless season 2 just follows the characters in normal day-to-day life, which I really doubt Netflix would do. It's like I love the Monsterverse, but I don't really care for what insert bodyguard here does on his Tuesday afternoons.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine we'll get a season 2, but the comics do a phenomenal job. Christopher Jones's art is incredible, and he does a great job at imitating the show.
Yeah, and while we're on the subject of Kong, I will say that I would love to see another film capture that same vibe of Kong Skull Island.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because like you watch it and it just seems, even with the goofier like Godzilla vs Kong or New Empire, like it's just there's still like there's a personality to Skull Island that hasn't been repeated, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, even the way that some of the fight scenes were shot, you have Tom Hiddleston in slow motion with a gas mask just like cutting through some of those flying creatures, and yeah, it was just kind of ridiculous in hindsight.
I love Skull Island. I really hope we get to see a film. It's just Skull Island and Hollow Earth. Like I think there's so many kaiju that could work as a Kong, like Gorosaurus as an obvious reference to what is it, King Kong Escapes. If they add him to the Monsterverse, I don't think they should kill him, keep him alive, but I think that'd be nice. Or one I've said for a long time, I'd love to see him fight Godzilla. He's my favorite kaiju in general, but a Megalon versus Kong film, I think Megalon would work phenomenal. In the Hollow Earth, Seatopia, maybe the Seatopians could have, some ancient beef with the Iwi, how'd the Hollow Earth tunnels get made? I don't know, a giant burrowing kaiju. Right. I think a Megalon versus Kong film would be just awesome to see Megalon fly around in zero gravity and Kong having to adapt and keep his, like army safe and whatnot.
Yeah, I definitely think that we deserve a standalone Kong film.
I hope after Supernova they go back to individual films for a little bit.
Yeah. Even with Godzilla, man, because Godzilla doesn't have... It's much harder to humanize Godzilla compared to like King Kong. King Kong is like much, it's much easier to like, you give him like the human eyes and he knows sign language and all this stuff. But Godzilla, like he's just... Especially
when they're sharing the screen together.
Yeah.
It's like, you could barely try to humanize Kong and really, really try to like make Godzilla feel more connected. But it's like when you have Kong there with him, it's like, it's like you could really try really hard to make, an ice cream truck look really cool. But then if there's a Lamborghini that has a dent in it beside it, it's like your eyes are still gonna be drawn to the Lamborghini.
Right.
So I really hope after Supernova they go back to their own. But they make a lot of money, so I really doubt they'll go back to that. But I hope they do. I really hope they do.
Yeah, and going back to Legacy of Monsters, how much Godzilla do you think we'll actually get? Like, in your opinion, how much are you expecting?
We've seen quite a few scenes and trailers of him in, what seems to be Tokyo, of him what's like seemingly fighting Titan X at night in the water and then in the day on land. So I think we'll see quite a bit of Godzilla this season. I'm not gonna, be like, oh, we're gonna see him more than Kong. I doubt that, because this season's said to be like more Kong focused. Because like we didn't see Godzilla much in season 1, but we followed him in the sense of like they were like essentially near him all the time. So I imagine we'll still see more Kong this season. But I definitely do think we'll at least have like I'd hope at least like 10 minutes of Godzilla footage for sure this time.
Yeah, I think people will riot if we get a whole other season of the show and we're still like very, very little on Godzilla. And with Titan X, I haven't done too much research about the design or inspiration behind Titan X. So I'm curious to know if you've read up on anything about it.
There's like some interview stuff. It's just like they tried to match its colors and design to the scarabs, which makes me think they may have made the scarabs first. They knew they wanted to go ocean, like an ocean titan in season 2. And I mean, just based on design, it's clearly based on like cephalopods and whatnot, like,
Right.
octopus and whatnot. But I don't believe there's any like super in lore thing yet. I imagine we'll probably get more as like we explore with the past trio, given they seem to know so much about it. Um, but as of right now, there's not like too much info on her. I believe it's a girl. I'm pretty sure I've heard somewhere. It's in episode 1 they say like he, but I'm pretty sure Apple's like somewhere confirmed it's a girl. So
Okay, I gotcha. Because I do like the look, and I like the ocean element of this
yeah,
kaiju. I'm really wanting to see more classic Godzilla or just kaiju creatures come up in the MonsterVerse. Like you were just talking about Megalon, like I know that they want to create their own kaiju. Like, I mean, King of the Monsters had so many of them come up, and I'm pretty sure all of them were just created by like the filmmakers, right? I don't think there was like any OG except Rodan and King Ghidorah and Mothra. I think everything else was like just new that they created for the series for MonsterVerse.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any individual. I don't think Michael Dougherty said like he like tried to get other ones outside of those. He said like multiple times like they were offered to him and they're like, "Do you want to use them?" And he's like, "Duh." But yeah, outside of that, I don't believe there's a. Yeah, I don't think there's like any others that have been. I mean, besides Mechagodzilla, he was brought to the screen, but other than those, yeah,
right.
I think like a lot of the I think the super sci-fi ones are kind of meh, at least like current monsters. So it's like Biolante, Space Godzilla, Destroya. But I think the more grounded ones could work like Titanosaurus, Gorosaurus, Megalon. King Caesar would work phenomenal. I would love to see King Caesar.
Yeah. Especially with what they did with
sure.
Scar King and just establishing the Hollow Earth and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we could easily
I would
get
love to see. I thought originally Scar King was King Caesar, just given the whole like eyes, like the eye thing we see in like the first trailer, and then it's a threat to Godzilla and Kong. It's like being able to shoot Godzilla's beam back at him.
Right.
But nope, it was Scar King. Scar King, he's cool, but I mean, he's alright.
Weak as hell.
He's okay. I thought it was gonna be him versus like Godzilla and Kong with his bare hands, and it's like, oh no, he just has like one of the strongest titans just on a leash, as one does, obviously.
Right.
So yeah, I would love to see King Caesar in the MonsterVerse if I could pick any. Even though I love Megalon, he has my heart. I got to go King Caesar. I want to see him back, or Baragon or Baron as well. Any of those work. Any of those would be phenomenal. And of course, Anguirus.
I was just gonna bring up Anguirus.
Yeah.
I wonder if we would, because Anguirus for the most part teams up with Godzilla in a lot of in a good chunk of the films I've seen.
Yeah.
So I like, why not bring in Anguirus and have it be like Godzilla? Imagine Godzilla, Kong, Anguirus, Mothra. They're all teaming up against like just like a group of other kaiju.
If they introduce Gorosaurus as well in the Hollow Earth, that'd be an awesome team. Yeah, a little Avengers squad.
Yeah, that'd be great. I hope that they don't do Jet Jaguar. I'm kind of scared of that. I
don't like Jet. That's a big take of mine. I've always thought, firstly, as a Megalon defender, obviously I have to hate Jet Jaguar.
Right.
But it's like, he's just, to all the Jet fans watching, I apologize. He's just a washed down Ultraman. That's all he is. Yep. He's just a more boring version of an Ultraman in every way. It's like, if you like Jet Jaguar, go watch literally any Ultraman show. You'll like him more. It's, like Jet's cool, but I really don't care for him in the mod. I think if they're going to have another robot, make it Mogira. Build off Mechagodzilla scraps like in the Heisei era and have it be built by Monarch. So they have a big M on its chest for Monarch and Mogira. Like Mogira would work very well.
Yeah. I definitely
have it be an outpost, like Outpost 18 in the first 2 episodes. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, and I think that would work really, really well. But I feel like the MonsterVerse is kooky enough to give us their version of a Jet Jaguar, just because like they're kind of going more, crazy with and more colorful and more like quirky. I think quirky is the word I'm looking for. And yeah, because I'm hearing that they're possibly giving King Kong like a mech suit or something, or like an Iron Man
I
suit.
heard
Someone
those
said.
leaks were fake. All like fake
Okay.
like one individual dude,
Okay.
and he got insane backlash online. Like people were like, he was like, "Oh, is this your address?" Yeah, people were fuming because he also posted the like Ghidorah is gonna be in -0 thing. Like he just I don't know what else he has going on in his day, but he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna make up leaks. And he just did that. And so I was like, oh, well, yeah, but I hope he doesn't get sued. Just give him lightning powers, please. Just give him his lightning powers. He should have gotten those when he got revived in GVK by the Heave. But,
Yeah.
It's like, no, let's give him another tool. Let's give him a shield this time. Let's give him a sword. Let's give him, a helmet. It's like, just give him powers. Give him something, an actual power.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could see where people would believe that. I mean, I believe it's not that I believe that the rumor was true, but I was just like, it could be.
What
Yeah,
they've done. Yeah, the
Right.
axe, the glove, the sword, and the comic now.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, since this first film, I mean, he used the anchor on the chain.
Mhm.
It's like he's been using tools, which is cool because he's a monkey and monkeys use tools. But it's like, don't give him a suit, dude. Please do not give him an Iron Man suit. That's gonna look so dumb.
yeah.
That's gonna look so dumb.
And if they do that, then you know that they're going to be bringing in Jet Jaguar and doing all this other crazy shit. If
Yeah.
they just double down on that.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, it's like Showa era goofiness. The Showa era did not give Kong a suit. It's like the Showa era goofiness was like Gabara, a giant bully toad. But
Yeah.
it's like it was not, let's give one of these guys an Iron Man suit. That was not Showa era
Nope.
silliness. Don't insult the Showa era like that. They did not do that.
They did not. You're right. But we'll see. I think it's pretty confirmed that it'll be Space Godzilla.
Yeah,
at this
there's
point,
quite a bit of
right?
stuff leaning towards that, but the leak that also said I think like his copyright was purchased, I believe was also by the same guy somehow. And also got deleted, which I don't think you can delete public records. So I think it may have been whatever site it was, like, oh, this is just false, and they got rid of it. But also, I don't know if it said it was bought for film use. If it was, then that's a different thing. But if it just said it was bought for use, like literally a week after that, like screenshot came out, Space Godzilla appeared in Starship, one of the comic series going on currently. He's like a red and green version of Space Godzilla now. So it's like it very well could have just been that. The comic writers, were like, oh, let's go ahead and purchase it and use it.
Right.
So,
which I mean that
I hope it's Maguma. I hope it's Maguma from Gorath. That no one's believing me on it. You gotta trust me. A giant walrus. That's the next big threat.
That would be amazing.
I need Maguma to kick ass.
But I think that people would I don't think people would be as excited about Maguma.
Blah blah blah. It's our audiences. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
I will watch the film 20 million times just to fund it.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I just for the absurdity of that type of monster, I'd be there too. I'd be there for 100%. Yeah.
Maybe don't have to be the main villain, but have him appear. I don't imagine it's copyright as much. If Legendary's like how much, Toa's be like 2 quarters on a popsicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can use them. That'd be amazing. A monster versus Maguma.
Yeah. I mean, we have Doug. Why not like have Maguma?
Exactly. Have him. Scylla's entire purpose was to keep the ice caps cold. Now she's dead. Have Godzilla go there and awaken Maguma. And he's like some giant 500-meter tall titan. And he's very passive. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And he'll just keep the ice caps cold. He's just a gigantic walrus. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be amazing, 100%. I do think that would be a missed opportunity to have it called Supernova and not have Space Godzilla, right?
Yeah, it'd have to be him or another. Like the only things that
Gigan came from space,
but not a supernova. He's just there. Like the only supernova kaiju, Space Godzilla absorb power of nearby supernovas, and Showa Ghidorahs are stated in multiple guidebooks too. When they're born, it's like how the Celestials in Marvel are born inside of planets and blow them up. Showa Ghidorahs are born from stars exploding. So, but I really doubt they would have another Ghidorah that'd be really weird just off the bat. So I can maybe see Kaiju Ghidorah someday, but not now. So yeah, I feel like it'd be Space Godzilla or their own thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I would hope that since they did their own thing for New Empire, that they treat the fans to something. Because I think with the crystals and Hollow Earth and everything, I think they've got that aesthetic where you get something. Because like I imagine with those crystals, everybody thinks of Space Godzilla because Space Godzilla's got the fucking crystals and everything. So
yeah,
it's definitely fitting, and it's definitely like the obvious choice. But that's interesting that the rumor about that, them purchasing it, that might not even be true or accurate. And if it is, to your point, that might have just been to be like, hey, we're going to use this for this comic.
Yeah. I hope if they have Space Godzilla, get just while you're at it, right? If you're buying what is likely one of the most expensive Toho properties like Kaiju, add some little background Toho thing. Skeleturtle, Giant Condor, Maguma, Gabra. Get somebody, just add them just for the diehard fans. Just like, we had Tiamat in the last movie. Have some other Toho Kaiju just appear for a little bit just because it'd just be hilarious. That'd just be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to see Space Godzilla land and then a MonsterVerse version of Kumonga runs away. It's like, oh god, I'm not built for this. Like,
yeah,
that'd be incredible. Or Kamacuras flying away. That'd be just something random. If you're gonna buy Space Godzilla, while you're at it, you have the budget. Buy some other little random one that Toho's willing to sell for like $30. So
yeah, I agree. It's like, fuck it, why not?
Yeah,
you've got one of the greatest sandboxes of a franchise to play in. Like, utilize the hell out of that.
And have some other Kaiju fight Space Godzilla first. If Space Godzilla's landing somewhere, Godzilla's not going to be there instantly. There's going to be some other Titan nearby. I'm tired of like the Egypt fight. I think it's not Binyup. It's there's some Titan that's outpost is right in Egypt, like in Cairo. Like not it may have been Cairo. Regardless, like 30 miles away. The Rio battle. Where's Behemoth? Also Rodan is said to have like laid in Rio. Like all these Titans are happening, and there's none of the other Titans that have already been established are there to fight back. I would love to see Space Godzilla land, some setup Titan gets there. Of course, immediately gets demolished, but at least show like, look, there are Titans everywhere. Show like it is a monster verse. Everywhere you go, there is a threat of a Titan appearing.
Yeah, that's that 100%. I read the novelization of New Empire, and I think I also did Godzilla vs. Kong, just to get some extra little context about some of them. And I know that by New Empire, like, there are quite a few kaiju that I think they just killed off. I don't know if that was ever explored in like a comic with killing them off, but I was under the impression that like quite a few of them were just like dead.
Yeah, it's weird because like Scylla got killed off because she was always she never really liked Godzilla.
Yeah.
In Dominion, right after King of the Monsters, after she bowed, she immediately went against the call. She fights Godzilla, leaves. There's some other fight that happened that we didn't see. And then in Godzilla X Kong the Hunted, which takes place right before Supernova, the New Empire, Scylla like absorbs like 30 nuclear missiles. And then Godzilla fights her in Rome, and she promptly loses.
Right.
Tiamat did nothing wrong. Godzilla went to her house, broke in, and as we learn in the Kong Survivor Instinct game, she has a kid, Leihamu. So he attacked. She was just trying to defend her house and her kid. But in the recent declassified comic, her head is being held in Hollow Earth, and there's 0 decay, which means her head is still alive, making sure her body doesn't rot. So she's technically still alive. She's just as a head. And you could argue Leihamu got away because in the game, Leihamu can turn invisible. So it's likely when Tiamat the fan consensus, and like, everyone's like kind of mad at Godzilla. The fan idea is like, oh, Tiamat didn't just fight back to like try and keep Godzilla out of her house, but to give Lehamu time to leave and escape. So yeah, Godzilla's in the wrong there. But yeah, I mean, Scylla was just never listened, and Tiamat's like kind of still alive. So hopefully, if they're gonna introduce a kaiju in the new Supernova, it's Space Godzilla killing them off just because he's evil, not because Godzilla's like, I don't like you anymore. That's just kind of. I feel like that's another reason people are more with Kong, because Godzilla, like in King of the Monsters and G14, like he was more relatable, right? But now it's just like, he's just kind of egotistical. If you don't listen to him, he's gonna kill you.
Yeah. They really dig into that whole alpha piece of it. And it's like that's why Godzilla and Kong fight each other, because
Kong didn't even want to fight in Egypt.
Yeah,
he's like, yo,
he's like, whoa.
Hold on.
I absolutely loved everything that had to do with the kaijus in New Empire. I loved it. Everything else, I was just like, back to still not liking characters all that much. But Kong was just like, wait. Let me tell you something.
He won it. The plot sandstorm came in out of nowhere to help Godzilla in the second round. But Kong, he knocked him out, man. He knocked him out. Everybody tries to argue against it. I interviewed Alan Henry, the guy that plays the motion capture of Kong, and I'm like,
oh, that's
in
so
the script,
cool.
like when you were making that scene in the script, was it like conveyed that Kong knocked him out? I was like, yeah. For a brief moment, but yeah, he knocked him out. It's like Kong won that fight. He wasn't even trying. Godzilla ran in there like an idiot. And, I love my goat Godzilla, but, it's good to see him get put on his ass here and there.
Yeah.
And, people online, got a lot of Godzilla fans online. No, he didn't get knocked out. It's like, whatever you got to tell yourself, dude. But, I just hope we see Godzilla not as much as like just a raging, egotistical, Titan anymore. Because, like, he's not much better right now than like Ghidorah. It's just he just likes to sleep. Ghidorah likes to be awake. It's like, but I mean, in terms of Ghidorah killed no Titans. He didn't kill anyone except Mothra. It's like Godzilla. He's like, Scylla, I don't like you. You're gonna blow up now. Tiamat, I'm gonna invade your house. You fought against me. You're dead. Majigra in the 2019 novelization is like, you're annoying and you're a teenager. I'm going to kill you. And he killed just a random Titan because he didn't like him. It's like, you are arguably like worse than Ghidorah right now, dude. Like, pull it together. You're supposed to be the alpha. Come on.
Yeah. Unless there's some 4D chess going on and the Monsterverse is trying to get us their version of GMK where
maybe if he becomes evil.
Yeah.
I mean, with how it's going currently, I don't think it's too absurd. I mean, I don't think he'll just become evil, but I think he'll just have like, it's like if you're not his idea, because like no one's able to challenge him when they don't bow, and it's just gonna keep feeding into his ego, like no one's able to beat me. If you don't submit, I'm gonna kill you. So I think that could be a way they could go. So either fix his character or fully lean into it. Don't like kind of half-ass the whole evil thing.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, it seems like it's just like, okay, he needs to have a character flaw, and his character flaw is he's a dick. And people wonder why people like Kong more. It's like, wow, I don't know, because he cares for this human. He knows sign language. In the anime, he's able to understand what I think is Spanish. It's like he's, the closest to a human. Yep.
He's using tools. He has his giant hawk like Godzilla has Mothra. It's like, no wonder people like Kong more. Yeah. Not because like he's stronger. It's just because like he's not a dick.
Exactly. How do you think Legacy of Monsters would like segue into Supernova? Because I know they're probably not going to do it directly because the timeline, right? But they've got to do something, right? Like give us something by the end of it.
The idea me and my buddy have had is we like to imagine, since Titan X has Godzilla and Kong mad, that immediately puts Titan X at like a alpha level threat. Like, Mechagodzilla got Godzilla angry, Ghidorah waking up got Godzilla angry. But even Ghidorah's alpha call didn't bother Kong. He didn't care. He just ignored it. So the fact that Titan X just waking up is pissing him off is like really telling of likely how strong she'll be. Mm-hmm. What I really hope, Monsterverse always kills off their villains. I hope they don't kill her off and they seal her back. And what I like to, if I could have Supernova go a certain way, have Space Godzilla be, being Godzilla and Kong, and then it's like we only have one option, and they reopen the Access Mundi portals, after closing, because they closed one in Alaska, and Titan X comes out and like fights. I think that would be awesome. Like have Titan X, not Titan X, have Access Mundi play some role in Supernova, right? It's like if you're pulling from space stuff, pull from this area that's like essentially its own dimension, like time works differently. Like there's the Guardian, the Access Mundi itself, like that those two words are, it's just like like I made a whole short on this. That the idea of Access Mundi appears in a lot of mythos, such as what was it called? The Nine Realms, that tree, Yggdrasil.
Yeah,
that's
Yggdrasil.
An Access Mundi. It's like if they're gonna lean into space stuff, have Access Mundi play a role, because it's like that could be a realistic way of having a like space like kaiju, something from like a practical different dimension, So have Titan X help out, or have Access Mundi play a crucial role in Supernova. I feel like that would be because it seems like they're gonna be really leaning into Access Mundi this season with Titan X and all that shenanigans. So I think having the whole, mystical other dimension almost like, play a role with Space Godzilla would make it not as, because like, we're out there currently with the Hollow Earth, but it's like going from Hollow Earth to, oh yeah, somehow there's a space version of Godzilla, the guy who's lived here on Earth for 250 million years. It's like, covert evolution with like different animals looking the same throughout millions of years. I really doubt that's going to apply to a Titan scale. I think that'd be kind of whack to have to say, it's like, oh, well, obviously Space Godzilla was a creature like Godzilla in the same environment out in space. Like that's just too out there. That's too absurd.
Yeah, I wonder, because like what do we get about Godzilla's like family history?
There's Dagon. We know the Mutos and the Godzilla species have been beefing for 250 million years. There's the axes, but I mean, other than that, the only other one we've seen is Dagon, just in comics, and he immediately got killed.
Right, because I'm thinking like, I imagine that they could do something where you had like a relative of Godzilla on Earth, and somehow it just like access this the Access Mundi point, and was lost in whatever dimension, and then it comes back and it's like, it's fucked up or whatever happened to it.
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like that would be the,
or maybe get like trapped in the it couldn't get out of the because it doesn't seem the time warping happens in Access Mundi. It seems to be the portals, because they talk about the portals being like wormholes, and there's a whole study with wormhole stuff.
Sorry, I've got
it's all good.
My son here.
Are you all done?
Almost. Give me 10 minutes, okay, buddy? I'm sorry. What were you saying?
It's all good. It's all good. No worries.
You could keep going.
Yeah, I was just saying, like a Godzilla that may have been trapped in the portals for a long time, like mutated somehow.
Yeah, I think it would work well, and the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, just you have the crystals and Hollow Earth and everything, and you wouldn't have to suspend too much disbelief to have that if it's like an OG relative of Godzilla that got trapped in these portals and dimensions and got screwed
and the crystals
up.
And the Hollow Earth as well. Obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they can make it work like that.
Yeah.
And calling it Space Godzilla, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how a quirky character could come to that title. Because it like
they could say, I could see the trapper line now. He was trapped in that space. Space Godzilla. I can already see the trapper line.
Right. No,
I'm gonna get a cease and desist from Legendary for leaking their line just now.
Right.
So.
But I am getting bothered here. So
it's all good. It's all good.
To cap this off, let's just talk a little bit about what you do and what, plug some of your socials and stuff.
To anyone watching, I am Goji Guy on YouTube. Goji Guy, GOJIGUY. Same with TikTok and Instagram. And I do a wide range of just versus style content from Heisei Godzilla in the Showa era to our recent video, Wendigo in the Ice Age, and then other things such as Springtrap, sci-fi, analog horror, FNAF, some anime content. So yeah, if you just like versus stuff, check out the channel.
Awesome. Yeah, and I love watching your content. You know, Godzilla is kind of a niche little fandom to be into. So you know, always love to see the creators out there. Do you perhaps write your own stuff, or like you have any creative outlet?
Everything is, I have a script open actively that's had all the questions. I've just copy pasted into it. But yeah, from the research, writing, the only thing that I have help with is art. I have an amazing art team. All of my thumbnails, I have how many different artists? There's Bizarrico, Dung, Gigamations, Ink, Sam, Uga, and Willie. And then I have some people that help with like animations and 3D models and whatnot. And but other than that, all the editing, all the recording, writing, all that is me.
Awesome. Yeah. And I did mean like creative writing. Like do you write stories or anything like that?
Yeah. My most profitable but also most expensive videos to make are my what ifs, where it's just essentially we're retelling stories. So we had like What If Godzilla Evolved in 2019. The one I'm working on now is What If Godzilla Attacks Skull Island. And so it's just like, you know, can Skull Island unite to fight him off and, you know, his titans? And so yeah, been that is definitely my favorite ones to write, just telling my own stories there. And yeah, that's those are my stories. And also hybrids, just make my own animals, just like, okay, you know, could this gorilla DNA work with this, you know, Mylodon DNA and make an animal that could work, and yada yada. So
right. Love that. Love to hear that. But awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Big fan of the channel. And yeah, glad you got to come on here and we could talk some Godzilla.
Of course. You have me on.